Hi, and welcome to Writer's Ramble. My name is Michael,
And I'm Deanna.
and today we're going to be reading yet another excerpt from Deanna's award-winning novel she wrote when she was 9. The Adventures of... I was going to say the full title. The Adventures of Samantha, The Darkness. Ooh.
Good job.
Right now we are on Chapter 2, A New School. Dramatic reading provided by Deanna.
Thank you. Jace woke up from the sound of his alarm clock. 6 a.m. Oh, great, he mumbled. Jace and Sean got ready for school. Sean was in 6th grade and Jace was in 8th grade. Because this is important stuff, and I did not at all tweak that at any point.
And there's that... I want to just make note of the fact that he checked his alarm, or, his clock again, because we always need to know exactly what time it is.
I'm sure we all have those very fond memories of waking up at the butt crack of dawn to get ready for school.
I woke up at 7. I was lazy.
Well, at least you were able to do that. I have memory of waking up, I feel like it was 5 in the morning, and I just remember by the time I was waiting for the school bus outside, and it was winter time, and it was dark enough you could still see the stars and everything, and I was cold and huddled up and dying. Fun stuff.
I feel like you don't have a ton of room to complain, seeing as we live in the grand state of Arizona where it doesn't get that cold.
But yeah, Arizona is definitely not a very cold place. So that's nice. It's hella hot, so I mean, summer's awful. But what would you consider cold? Because depending on the time of the year and where you are, it can get pretty chilly for...
I mean, I'd say anytime it gets below freezing, I think you can consider that cold.
I've seen it in single digits, which is
Yeah, no, I know it has gotten there in Arizona, but it also does so maybe a couple hours a day in the middle of winter, and that's during the night while you're sleeping.
Or in this case, if you were me, waiting for the school bus.
Or that, I suppose.
Yeah. Anyways, Jace and Sean got on the bus. It was the most crowded bus Jace had ever seen. Or, as I put, seen. And...
It's spelled like Sean.
Huh?
Oh wait, no, never mind. I was reading Sean. Never mind. Oh, you said seeing.
Yeah. Jace had trouble finding an open seat. Oh, I learned how to spell seat there. I didn't put set.
Oh.
It looks like
I don't know if you're just inconsistent or if you're actually learning.
It looks like I erased it at one point, so I think I added it later. He finally found a seat, but it was by two big, tough boys. Without knowing it, he sat down by them. How would you not know it?
I mean, you could not look where you're going, You could be some nerd, got your face all up in a book, you're not really looking where you're going, just sit down. I mean, that wasn't the case here, but that's an example.
I guess the way how I read it, I just imagine Jace seeing them and being like, they look rough and tough. I'm gonna sit by them. Oh, I didn't mean to do this.
Am I disabled?
The boys took up most of the seat. Jace was barely able to sit. What?
I do want to mention, I think it's funny how you have fabricated, in essence, this conflict by having him choose to sit next to them when he could have just not.
Well, it was a crowded bus, didn't you see?
Are you saying there was absolutely no other seats?
I think so. I think that's what I was trying to imply.
I feel like maybe that could have been clearer, but then again, you were 9.
Yeah. Well, at this point, because I did rewrite some sections, I might have been older when I rewrote this.
I don't know how much better 11 is than 9.
Yeah. One was bald, flat face, body jewelry, black clothes. I think what I meant was, one was bald, he had a flat face, body jewelry, and black clothes. Or wore black clothes. But apparently, little kid me was like, you can fill in the blanks, whatever, screw you. And the other had messy brown hair, veins showed in his eyes. It looked as if he had been drinking nothing but soda for the last month and had no sleep at all. So in other words,
Man,
he looks like a crackhead.
You sound so innocent. It's like, he looks like he'd been drinking soda.
Yeah, soda.
He definitely wasn't doing any illegal substances, that's for sure.
He wasn't vaccinating himself under an overpass.
I like how the first one had jewelry, like he's some sort of pimp.
No, just like, face jewelry, which was supposed to be... Well, actually,
You said body jewelry.
Oh, body jewelry. I don't think he'd be able to get away with that at school, They'd be like, take those out, mister.
Like that classic bully stereotype where, like, they can get away with anything for some reason. Maybe they're very charismatic to the principal, or they're related to someone in charge,
I don't know how charismatic they're gonna be, especially in like a kid's show. I feel like if they're a bully, they're like, give me your lunch money. And they're wearing like a shirt that has a skull on it and they're Sid or something from Toy Story.
Well, I'm thinking of like Carmelita Spatz from A Series of Unfortunate Events, where she was just really nice to the vice principal and he was very easy to flatter. So he's just like, oh yes, you're so lovely, I'm just gonna let you do whatever you want.
That guy had a lot of problems, I'm sure.
Yeah. Not the least of which was the fact that I don't think he even passed high school.
Yeah. Maybe he's there so he can learn along the way.
Something tells me he's only interested in the music department.
Anyways, dialogue from one of the bullies. Oh, look, the new kid, one said, pointing at Jace. That's kind of awkward pointing at them in the seat, like, you.
Yeah, you said they took up most of the seat, so, like, you'd have to, like, very awkwardly, like, point his hand while, like, still having his hand very close to his body. Or either that, or he just, like, pokes him, like, right in the eye, like, you.
I should have I think what I was envisioning was more like gesturing or something, but not, like, pointing. I don't know, I feel like he should have, like, maybe nudged his friend, like, oh, it's the new kid. And, yeah. Rather than actually just pointing. Anyways.
Who does that anyway? Who just, like, points at people?
If you're in an anime,
I guess. I just find, like, that'd be, like, a very funny situation if, like, you just walk into school your first day and some clearly bully type guy, instead of, like, saying, hey, Pipsqueak or something, like, walking over, they just, like, very dramatically, like, go, like, you, and, like, point their finger at you.
The other shoved Jace. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to put a dent in your arm, your little arm. They both snickered. Stop, just please leave me alone, Jace said without thinking. You don't ask a bully to please stop. You're already making yourself a doormat.
Please stop. Don't take my lunch money, oh.
Oh, what, you have a problem with us? One said, balling his hands into fists. Jace's eyes scanned the bus looking for Sean. Sean was in a few seats in front. Jace got up and zipped over to Sean, picked him up, and put him on his lap. I know that's something that, like, sometimes, maybe if you had a sibling that was young enough, like in kindergarten.
He was 2 years younger than him. I don't think that would have been young enough.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen, or, like, maybe if, like, a middle schooler had, like, a younger sibling in, like, kindergarten, they like, maybe do that. But in this case, Sean would be like, you're embarrassing me.
He's too stupid to realize.
What's that?
Sean, he's too stupid to realize that it's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, like, this next line, it kind of seems like he's kind of like, what? Because, what did I put here? Oh, Sean had questions, but Jace said, I'll tell you later.
That's such a light way to put it. He had questions. Yeah, I would also have questions.
It's like, dude, is that a boner?
Step bro.
They finally reached the school. He waited for the school bell to ring. He was waiting outside up against the wall. He saw a group of girls. They were laughing. One of them pointed at Jace. Another shook her head no. One of them said, "I dare you." They pushed her out of the group. The girl had long brown hair, I think I meant was tall, and had a pointy nose. Here I am trying to, I guess, add some flavor to the scene, like, oh, here's what the characters look like. What are some interesting features to give them? Oh, give her a pointy nose. There we go.
Yeah, but of course, it's in typical young child writing fashion where it's like, they had this feature and this and this and this and this, and yeah.
She stopped in front of Jace. "I think you're cute." I don't know, it's just so awkward to read because
she's seen him for about 5 seconds.
you know how it be in schools. There's a new kid, everyone's instantly, interested. They're like, oh yeah, there's some hot shit in this school now.
I feel like, I don't know if like in actual schools it's different. I feel like I didn't pay much attention to that side of things when I was actually going to school, but in like movies and stuff, I feel like it's usually the opposite, where they'll be like, look at this nerd, just shows up, fish out of water, stupid.
Loser.
Idiot.
Her and all the girls ran off giggling. Jace shook his head. How stupid.
Ugh, girls. I don't like those. I like men.
Heck, Dad was right. I would make plenty of friends. He's...
Or more than that, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it's kind of funny how he just acknowledges that, kind of like, yeah, I guess I'm a hot shit here now.
I feel like you had sort of like a theme you were going for with his interactions with people at first, and then it kind of derailed because you didn't want him to be bullied too much. So like you had the bullies be mean to him, but then like I feel like usually they kind of double down on that in movies or something, or books, so that you get attached to the character. It's like, oh, this poor guy, he's being bullied, and he's like an outcast, and you really feel for them in that case. Or you could have the opposite, where like, I feel like I don't really often see the opposite, frankly, where like they just come to the school and like they're just hot stuff and everyone's like into it. But like you've had both, and it really gives me like some like conflicting feelings about like how he's perceived. I guess that's realistic, but I guess from a narrative perspective, it feels like the general vibe about this new kid is kind of like all over the place.
I think I was just kind of going off of what I noticed in school whenever there was a new kid. If it was a boy, maybe he was more apt to be sort of, picked on a little bit by the other boys, but the girls were like, hey, what's up, you want to hang out? Or in this case, it's, I think you're cute.
You want to hang out? My parents are home.
I think I said in my parents' room.
In my parents' room. Let's do it on their bed.
It's like, what the heck? Where are you?
I'm only 11.
Yeah, seriously. His teacher was just okay. You okay there?
Well, this is kind of like getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but you've read like other sections of like old works that you've written, and you have had several instances where you will accidentally roast people in your writing. And I feel like this is definitely one of those cases. Like I don't think that it was intended at the time to sound mean, but like the way it comes across, you can't help but feel like, oh, they were just okay.
It's like weirdly passive aggressive. It's like, well, damn, thanks.
Could have been a better teacher, frankly.
Mediocre. I'll give you like a
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6.
I heard you about to say 6.
Oh, okay. Anyways, his teacher was just okay. Everything was just okay. The food...
Dang, boy. Hard to impress, I guess. Sheesh.
The food, kids, teachers, the school itself. Although the day went by fast. And that's the end of that chapter. Again, very riveting stuff.
Is the ending there supposed to be kind of like, I miss my old house, I miss my old friends at my old school, like everything's just okay, because, it's not the ones that I remember, it's not the ones that I like more.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I'm sure you can relate with that. I mean, technically, me as well. I had a little bit of a weird thing with school at the very end where I switched schools, but I feel like you felt it a lot more.
Yeah. Um, yeah, if there's one story that um, maybe it's not relatable for everyone, or maybe it's not like super emotional for everyone in as many aspects as it would be for me, but um, Inside Out, the Pixar movie, her general story, it hit home for me because I moved schools in the middle of high school, and I felt all those things too. It just kind of sucked. Um, Although in my case, I feel like I didn't really deal with it as well as she did in the movie. Eventually, she got over it. I feel like I never really got over it.
I was gonna say, it's like she ran away from home. You didn't do that. Are you?
Well, I didn't do that. No.
You did eventually move back, though.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying. Is like she made new friends. She met a boy and all that stuff. And for me, like I just lived in the other state. We moved states. I lived in the other state for like 5 years, and I didn't really get that close to anybody in all that time. Uh, I don't really know what that says about me, if that's like a bad thing, or if like I just know what I like and that wasn't it. But yeah, it was just not a fun time for me.
But I imagine Jace's observation of this new school is probably how you felt at that time. Kind of like everything is just eh.
It was hard to be even that optimistic, I feel like, because it's almost like you're distracted by how different it is, that you can't you I rationally knew that I couldn't even like fairly assess what it was like while I was there, um because I was too close to it. I was too emotional about it. um So like I feel like if I were to like be honest, it's like I understand that this is a perfectly fine school, and as a matter of fact, the school that I did end up going to my senior year, for all intents and purposes, probably was like a better school. It had more money, um, it had more electives and more students, and um, I think it probably cost more. It seems like because it was very nice. Um, but I logic and emotion, they don't mix very well, and I still couldn't help but feel like I don't like it.
Not the same kids that you went to school with.
Yeah. Then again, I also am very introverted, in the fact that the class that I was in had like 100 or so students, which is actually, it's not actually that huge of a school. There are lots of schools that have like thousands of students in each grade. So like it's not that big a school, but I came from a school that had like
even less
20 students in a class. It was like insanely tiny.
Anyways, that was chapter 2 of The Darkness. Join us next time for story time when we cover chapter 3 called Clues.
Ooh, clues. What could it mean? I was gonna do like a little I was gonna do a little song from Blue's Clues, but then I realized that what I was thinking of was Elmo's World. But yeah, I have been Michael.
And I have been Deanna.
And this has been Story Time on Writer's Ramble. Bye-bye.
Bye.